Hello, Internet.
Welcome to the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
This is episode 20 and I'm Tracy.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Darren.
Right. Welcome to our Christmas show,
It took me a bit unawares there.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Do we have anything to announce?
Don't think so.
Yeah. On behalf of us here at the podcast, I would just like to wish my gorgeous wife a happy birthday for yesterday. Happy 21st, dear.
Arse licker.
You can't say
happy birthday, Tracy.
Thank you very much.
And also, don't forget, it is my birthday today.
Yes, jumping the gun, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
Yes, it's my lovely hubby Lee's birthday today, so wish him happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday, Lee.
Happy birthday, honey.
That's in the script, by the way. That Lee wrote.
Yeah.
Okay, and on with the news. First item, I'll just go ahead and read this off here. As Tracy said on the last show, the Coke Freestyle machines are now in the Islands of Adventure at Oasis Coolers in the Lost Continent. The machines feature traditional Coke products as well as rare flavors such as Orange Coke, Sprite with Peach, and Fanta Raspberry. Stop by and check them out and let us know what you think of them and what mad flavors you have concocted.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when we go back, I'm definitely going to try them. I know we talked about it last week, but now I've got the information of exactly
Fanta Raspberry sounds amazing.
where they are. I just they talk about Coke products. So what is the Darren? Is it literally just Coke, Sprite, and Fanta?
Coke, Sprite, Fanta. I'm trying to think of like which products are Coca-Cola products because basically the sodas are split into two companies. So you got Coca-Cola and you got Pepsi. So, like, the Pepsi products are like, you know, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, they've got their own specific brands, and then Coke's basically got the same sodas, but just a different brand name of them.
Right.
Like, one of them's got 7-Up, the other one's got Sprite, you know, they're basically the same soda.
Yeah, it actually tastes different. The Sprite over there tastes different to us, because I actually took it back because I thought there was something wrong with it.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm definitely Team Pepsi.
Yeah, see over here, Coke's the big one. Pepsi's really low, but I did notice when I was over in Europe last that it really was more.
Right, so we're looking at Fanta Zero, Pib. What the hell's Pib?
It's like Dr. Pepper, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I love Dr. Pepper. Coke, Diet Coke, Coca-Cola Zero, Hick. What's Hick?
Hick? Oh, High C.
Oh, sorry.
High C, that's like Tang. That's like an orange drink.
All right. Minute Maid Lemonade, Sprite Zero. It looks like Sprite. A different type of, that must be caffeine-free Diet Coke. Is it Bags or Bargs? Is that?
Bargs root beer.
Root beer, yep. Vault?
Vault is a high caffeine energy drink.
Powerade.
That's like a Gatorade.
Powerade Zero. And then there's like...
What? Does it say water?
Water. Dasani and Dasani.
Water?
What's Dasani Sensations?
Yeah, you can do any of the flavors that they have there. You can just have in water as well, like the peach flavor.
So like
I tell you what, that's really good.
Yeah.
They're quite impressive, aren't they, really?
I was hitting the vault when I was there last at Richter Burger. We were doing vault with raspberry and peach and orange. Oh man, that was great.
It is like the first time we went. She's all right off the blocks, but she's not much for stamina, bless her. And she realised that why she managed to keep going for most of the holiday when she didn't realise what Mountain Dew actually was. I just thought it was like
I was drinking it by the gallon.
A fruity drink, because you used to be able to buy it. When we first went over in 2004, you could actually buy it in the parks. We never saw it anywhere in the parks the last time we were there.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, it's probably because they've gone on with the vault there.
Yeah. Cans of that. So there you go. But yeah. Let us know what... I'm quite intrigued by that. What?
That was just random.
I'm going back to the news story. I'm intrigued to see what dodgy things people can come up with. And I'm going to try some mad crap when we're there, I know that.
I don't think they do crap flavour.
They might do.
Right.
There's a lot of options there.
Moving swiftly on. My bit of news. There are new buttons to be found at Universal Orlando Resort Guest Services. Now, guests of all ages choose to celebrate their birthday or special occasions at the parks, so the Parks and Resorts Operations team have recognised this and are continuing to develop programmes to make visitors' days special. Now, after the introduction of the birthday button proved successful, entrance operations are now offering I'm Celebrating buttons to guests visiting while celebrating a special occasion other than a birthday, for example, an anniversary or personal milestone. Throughout the resort, team members are actively encouraged to acknowledge any guests wearing an I'm Celebrating or a birthday button. Now, as we said, buttons are available at guest services in both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure.
Now, we've said this more and more over the last 6 months. Universal are really going for Disney, aren't they?
It seems that way.
Mm-hmm.
Even this is a way of trying to get into what Disney have done for years.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, everybody knows you have a birthday or anything like that, anniversary, blah, whatever, you can get a badge for anything. The last time we went to Disney, we went to get the kids' first-time badges.
Yeah.
And he went to give us some, like, oh, no, this isn't our first time. It's like, is it your first time with the kids? We're like, well, yeah. He said, well, then it's your first time with kids.
Yeah. So
we still
felt
ended
like
up
frauds,
with first because it was weird. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. We'll definitely get them when we go next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got, next time we're going, we've got
two birthdays and an anniversary. Yeah.
All right.
So...
I mean, I didn't even know they did birthday buttons, to be honest.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't aware either.
Yeah. So they've not really advertised it.
No.
Which is good. It's good that they're getting the team members to...
It'd be interesting to get some feedback from anybody who's worn a birthday button.
To see how much interaction they get. That's a good idea.
Or anybody who's going, find something to celebrate, get a badge and tell us what sort of interaction you get.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, it's even daft things. I think they are doing it more. And look at what Leonard told us about Draven. She's got the Dark Mark tattoo on her arm.
Yes.
And she got loads of interaction in the Wizarding World because of having that. And that's good. That's what Disney do. And that's what separates them.
Yeah.
And I think if they can get more into that...
Spirit of it.
More into interacting with the guests... Yeah. On a round the parks basis rather than in specific areas.
Yeah, rather than just like the little fantasy areas and
in the rides and stuff like that, just around the areas. I think they're gonna encourage people more. So I'm all for it.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So right, the next one we've got. We recently spoke about the possibilities of a new lagoon show, and we mentioned it on episode 14 and 15. And at the time, we had nothing to confirm, as nothing had been announced, but just a few rumours floating around. Well, nothing's still yet been released, but there's been some pictures posted on the forums at OrlandoUnited.com, which would suggest that something's definitely going on.
I would say so.
Now, you two both got the pictures there off, and there's definitely...
Right.
It's funny, actually, because I spoke to a listener, Chris Wakefield, the other week, and this rig is outside the back of Richter Burger. And he asked his brother who went with him at the time if he'd noticed anything out the back, and he hadn't, which is interesting. But, I mean, it's definitely there. You can see, like, I know we're talking about pictures on a podcast, but that's definitely at the back of Richter Burger Company, the third one down. Some serious rigging going on there.
Is that a solid structure, or is it like a pontoon?
That, I don't know. It looks fairly solid looking at it.
Yeah, that's not like a regular feature in the back there, because usually it's just like the back end and there's no dock there. It's something that they did move in, but I think it's like pretty much they just block it up to the side of the dock.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know there's been some other pictures on there since I actually cobbled all this together, and they've also started constructing something in the middle of the lagoon. And someone who seems quite an expert in things on the Orlando United forums has said that what he's seen them put up means they're going to have mist sprays, you know, like the ones in Fantasmic at Disney. So some sort of projection thing onto mist screens, which I love. I love the idea of that.
It's certainly a huge structure, isn't it?
It is, and it's actually grown more since those pictures. It's huge, but then we've said this before. They need something to keep people in the parks on a night.
Yeah, it does seem to fall flat.
The parks close at like we've never been at peak time,
right?
But it's like it gets to 7 o'clock and the parks close and everyone goes home. Or the majority of people just leave. you might grab something to eat on City Walk, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, what we've sort of observed is the people on City Walk as we're leaving have come in for City Walk
rather than being
coming out of the parks and going into City Walk.
Would you agree with that, Darren?
Yeah, definitely. And then, I have been there a couple nights during peak and seen like the Cinesphere 360 show and that kind of thing. Which is pretty cool, but if they can pull this off, this is going to be like a whole nother level, especially if, like you said, it's the screens like they do over at Disney.
It just, with the movie theme of the park, that's still there, but not really. The options for the projections on the mist screens it could be really, really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they're obviously wanting to keep people in the parks or to try and keep people in later, and keep people at the resort, which would lead us on to your next one, wouldn't it, Darren?
Yep, and we have discussed it quite a lot on the show, but it would seem the new Hollywood Drive-In Golf is moving along at a swift pace. An article on attractionsmagazine.com showed some very recent photos of the progress, and we got those pictures here. Now, I was telling Lee before the podcast here, the house there is reminding me a lot of Beetlejuice, actually. Also, like Lee said, the Bates Motel as well.
Mm-hmm.
It does, yeah.
It does.
It could be both. It looks cool, but you said like the monster next to it looks like it could be like the sandworm things out of
kind of sandworm.
Similar.
Yeah, similar. I'm liking the look of that.
I love we don't get mini golf really over here.
Oh yeah,
and they're generally flat courses and the crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we got a lot of them over here in Florida, especially in the Orlando area, but also where I'm from here. But so for like the Florida residents, they really got to take it up a notch, and it really seems like they are here. There's also a really cool kind of like Bender looking.
It does look like Bender. You're right.
That is pretty cool.
With his with like arms, big arms, going out from every direction on him there, and it actually looks like it's visible from the street there. So as you drive by, you'll be able to see the robot. And
it did. Well, we've
for a
just
lot of other things once the construction continues.
Well, we've just said that as well, haven't we, Darren? That is the best marketing for that mini golf course you could possibly have.
Drive
that you're going to drive past it and see that big robot on the side and think, what? Hang on, kids in the back. What's that? We need to go in there.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Is there a couple of spaceships to the left?
Yeah. Oh, it is, I never noticed them.
And the building. I know they're not finished building it, but it looks like it's a building that's being destroyed.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I am. I love mini golf. I really do. We took the kids last time to Pirates Cove, didn't we?
We did. Yes.
They're really, really good. Because we don't get it here, it's such a novelty for us to go over there and do it. It's something we'll do every time. If we're coming over for 3 weeks next time, I have no doubt we'll do more than one.
I hope so. Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. And so that course is set to open up next year. It looks like, like you guys said, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It does look like it.
It does. Yeah. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Is it me again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably all know by now that an announcement was made about the expansion of the Wizarding World Universal Orlando. Now, we discussed it quite a bit on the last show, so we decided not to say too much about it on this show. Just wondering why we have this bit. They announced it would be greatly expanded. That's it. Nothing about where it's going or what it'll be, but we're hoping to have a guest on in the new year who'll know a lot more about it than us. So let the speculation continue, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more in 2012.
We did. I wanted this to be in there just because if you don't mention it, people go, oh, how come you didn't mention that?
Well, yeah.
Because it's the big news.
Yeah.
But there is no news on it.
Yep, the big news is there is no news.
Well, we flogged it to death with what we thought was going on over there in the last show.
Mm-hmm.
You go on any forums or anything like that over the last, and listen to any other podcast, and everybody's talking about it, and it's like, what's to talk about? Because there isn't anything there. That's all they've announced. Everything else is just rumour and conjecture.
Exactly, and besides, everybody knows it's going to be the Twister expansion that everyone's been hoping for and clamoring for, because I don't know what else they could possibly do there, so.
It's going to be interesting. I think they say there's no smoke without fire, so I think everyone knows what it's going to be, but it'll be... You never know, they might shock us.
Yeah.
I might.
they have in the Despicable Me.
That wasn't a shock. Anyway, as I saw in a recent tweet, someone posted a picture that he'd taken at the parks, and it showed that the Lorax is now available for meet and greets in the parks. I'm not sure where, because I couldn't actually find it.
Yes, somebody
when I went to jot it in there. If anyone knows, if anyone's seen the Lorax, obviously in promotion of the new film, just let us know where. I would assume it would be somewhere near the truffle trees. No, because I thought about this. I thought Zeus Landing's the obvious place, but if they're pushing the film, it'll be in Universal.
Right.
I think they'll still put them over in Zeus.
It's not going to be in Jurassic Park.
No, but you know what I mean.
Or maybe multiple locations.
They could put them in both parks, yeah.
Entrance to Universal, like that more the entrance area.
They always have like the newer characters over it. Like when Hop was out, they had the Hop characters, didn't they? And the Minions have been over there, and so yeah. If anyone knows exactly where he's being available, let us know. But
I'd like to know, because I love the Lorax.
Keep an eye out, because he's definitely there.
Cool. Now, our sponsors, Be Our Guest Destinations, have told us there are some room-only discounts that are dependent on the day, but there is up to 30% off to be had. And there's also some great Harry Potter packages. Now, on the Harry Potter package, you will get early park admission to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, breakfast at the Three Broomsticks, a 3-day base ticket to both parks, 1 park per day, hotel accommodations. They start at $315 per adult for Universal Partner Hotel and $679 per adult for Universal On-Site Hotel. You'll also have access to live entertainment at Universal City Walk, and it's valid for travel from now through until the 31st of December 2012.
That doesn't seem bad.
No.
What's a 3-day base ticket set you back at the moment? It's $80 for a 1-day ticket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus your hotel. And you've got to look at it that it's like the busiest time of the year. I don't think they're bad at all.
You get your breakfast chucked in there as well.
See, what I was getting, is that breakfast every day at the Three Broomsticks, or is that just one breakfast?
Ooh.
I shall have to pull Heather up about that.
All right, that'll do it for the news, and let's continue on with the show.
Now, getting into our Christmas stuff, we'd like to welcome onto the show again Ron Schneider. Hi, Ron.
Hello there. How's everybody doing?
Hi,
We're
Ron.
good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming back on.
My pleasure.
And Ron has kindly agreed to come on and tell us about his involvement and memories of the early Christmas events at Universal Orlando.
So anyone who was a fan of our interview with Ron earlier in the year to do with the first Fright Nights, I'm sure will be in for a treat. So, Ron, take it away.
Well, I got to take you back a little bit to the last talk we had where I did the first Fright Nights, the very first Halloween event, which was a tremendous success and was completely produced by us in-house. We didn't bring in any outside people. Then the Universals started to try and fight the unions. They wanted to keep the unions out, especially the actors union. They don't like dealing with unions over there. And so we went through a big change inside the company, and they brought in a whole new management staff for the entertainment division. We had a new show director, and I don't think he was a writer. They brought in outside writers to write things for the second Halloween, and we had a new head of the tech department. We had a new head of entertainment. And they handled all of the second Halloween. They came to me and asked me to write stuff, or I insisted I thought I'd be writing more stuff. And I would write stuff and submit it, and it would disappear into the ether, and none of my stuff was used for the second Halloween. And I got a form letter after Halloween saying, thank you for your help, but we couldn't have done it without you. And it was the same form letter they sent to everybody else. And I sent them a letter back saying, I didn't do anything for Halloween this year, and you need to be careful about who you're sending form letters to. Mm-hmm. And I wrote another letter out to them saying, look, to the company, I said, I'm on staff, I'm a writer and a director, and I've done this work for you. I don't know why my stuff isn't being used. And I would like to participate. I'd like to feel that I'm part of this. Well, they couldn't let me go yet because they were still fighting the unions. The union vote was going to come at the beginning of the following year. And they had talked to the actors and the different performers in the park, and they found out that I was somebody that they were all very fond of. They liked me a lot and respected me, and so they didn't want to let me go.
Right.
So they actually invited me to take part in Christmas. And I come into this meeting, and there's all the people, the new management people, and all the different teams, and they're all sitting around the giant table, and we're going to toss ideas around for Christmas. I hadn't been asked to prepare anything, and I didn't. I just sat there and listened, and when I had something to kick in, I would. There was this very nice secretary who was apparently managing the whole project creatively, and they were going to they decided that the marketing department had come up with a name for the project. It was going to be called the Santa-tastic Extravaganza.
Oh, that's such a good name.
I thought so much.
Yeah.
I immediately just gritted my teeth and kept my mouth shut at first, because the thing is, when you're selling something, you want to sell something that you can pay off, that you can deliver on. And something that's called a Santa-tastic Extravaganza, how are you going to possibly pay this off? I didn't say anything at the meeting. They were asking this secretary, okay, what are we going to have in the different areas? And she said, well, we're going to have a Christmas tree lighting ceremony every night at the end of Hollywood Boulevard. And we're going to have in Amity, there's going to be a Winterfest. There's going to be a crafts village. And the head of the department said, well, what are they going to have at Winterfest? And she said, oh, we'll have some crap.
Nothing like selling it to everybody.
Got me excited already.
And I made a note. I had a piece of paper in front of me. I wrote down, be sure to visit Winterfest. Not going to want to miss this. And when they were talking about the Christmas tree lighting, I said, we should tie this in with our characters. I said it would make a lot of sense to have E.T., if we could get E.T. to show up and use his finger to light the Christmas tree. And I said, as a matter of fact, get a child out of the audience and have her throw the switch, a cute little child to throw the switch, and then nothing happens. But then E.T. shows up, and she gets to meet E.T., and then he uses his finger and lights up the Christmas tree. And they all thought that was a terrific idea. And they had an E.T. figure that they weren't using, and he came up out of the bottom of the stage and with fog and everything like this, and lit the Christmas tree, which was quite successful.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Then the question came up of Santa Claus. What are we going to do with Santa Claus? Well, we knew we were going to have Santa in a little house there on the area next to the lagoon. But the question came up, how would Santa arrive? And because people do, Santa could come in on a parade. He could come in on a helicopter. I think they did that at Disney one time. He could come in at a balloon. How is he going to come in? And just off the top of my head, I said, everybody does Santa arriving. Yeah. I said, but when you think about it, the exciting thing that nobody's done is if we could get Santa to take off from Universal, if we could get him to leave for his trip around the world from Universal. And everybody turned to look at the new tech director, and they said, can we do this? And he goes, well, yeah, we could do that. And I said, I can write a script for this that we can handle it like a NASA launch. We can have a pre-recorded pre-show and have the elves do the crosstalk and have Walter Cronkite introducing the thing like a news report and do it kind of tongue in cheek, and then Santa can take off. Now, I didn't ask how they were going to do this because I knew they didn't want me there anyway. Mm-hmm. And I figured if I can contribute something terrific, but I wasn't going to break my back on this thing. And I figured I'll write the script. And I know they're going to take it away from me, and I won't have a hand in it. It's just I'll write it, and I had a sign by this time on my office door saying it was funny when it left here. I was abrogating all responsibility for the stuff that the company was doing, because the stuff that I was putting out for them was good. The scripts were good when it left me, but they were handing it to this guy whose his directing experience was directing Showgirls in Reno.
Right.
Yeah. And so he was a choreographer, and he was great with dealing with dancing girls, but he had not done anything with comedy. So I wrote the script and had the elves doing crosstalk and Walter Cronkite like this, and I sent it off, and then I just sat back and waited in my office. And the first night of the Christmas promotion, I walked into the park just like I was a normal guest. I walked into the park, and I turned left, and I walked into Winterfest in Amity. There's a big banner over the entrance to Amity. He said, Winterfest. Beautiful banner. It's all wintry letters and stuff like this in there. And I'm walking through Amity, and there's carnival games, and there's the food outlets, and nothing. There's no crafts village. I can't see anything. Then I got to the queue line for Jaws, which hadn't opened yet. And in the queue line area for Jaws, there were 6 banquet tables. These are these large tables that they use at banquets where you pull the legs down, and normally you'll put a pad and a tablecloth over it. Well, these banquet tables were out there just stripped bare, and they're really ugly-looking tables. Mm-hmm. There's a big circle of these 6 banquet tables, and standing in the middle of the circle of banquet tables were 3 Universal employees in their street clothes, wearing little Christmas scarves, and there are 3 women, and each one had a cardboard box. And one box had red pipe cleaners, and one box had white pipe cleaners, and one box had green pipe cleaners. And as each child walked up to the table, a child would be handed one of each of the 3 colors, and then the women would show them how to twist them into a Christmas ornament. Okay. And that was the Crafts Village.
See, that along with something else probably being quite good, because I can imagine that looking quite cool, actually, but to be that just it.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know is how many of them actually made it home intact? Yeah. Pipe cleaners are not the sturdiest of things, ever.
It's true. You put that in your pocket, and basically you've got just a mess.
Exactly. I've got a pipe cleaner bauble.
Yeah. Right. But, you advertise crap, and that's what you're going to get.
Well, she wasn't kidding.
She wasn't kidding. Yeah. She's a woman of her word. Well, finally, later that evening, I made it around to Central Park and got down by the water to watch Santa take off. And they had set up behind the Back to the Future building, there was an extremely large crane tucked away behind the building where you couldn't see it. It was a very large crane. In fact, it was so tall, it came up to just about 3 or 4 feet above the top of the building. Just the very tip of it was sticking up from the top of the building. And there was a cable on a pulley that ran from the top of that crane down the front of Back to the Future and across the lagoon down to the base of Lombard's Landing, to the little pier there. Mm-hmm. And on that pier, they had constructed a garage, small garage, and the cable ran right into the front door of the garage, which was closed. You couldn't see into it. And when it came time for the Santa's launching, they brought the lights down on the lagoon, and they played Christmas music, and then you heard the Walter Cronkite sound alike. Now, the problem with any kind of amplified sound around that lagoon is the sound system just puts the sound out there, and then it bounces all over the place, and so you got a bad echo. Yeah. And there are no speakers in the middle of the lagoon, and the whole thing isn't timed out properly. When we did Kaleidoscope at Epcot Center, there were speakers in the middle of the lagoon and on the edge of the lagoon, and they were all synced together so that it eliminated the echo. Universal, we didn't have that luxury. And so there was such an echo that you really couldn't understand what Walter Cronkite was saying. And then came the elf voices. Now, when you're recording elf voices, you have to remember the lesson of the chipmunks. And that is that you you talk very, very slowly, and you drop your pitch. And then you speed that up.
And then you've got a high-pitched elf voice, or a chipmunk voice.
Well, they had given this job to the technician. They didn't hire an actor to do this, and he hadn't dropped his pitch. I can't say that he really spoke very slowly, but you couldn't understand a word was going on. It was just a lot of high-pitched gibberish going out there. So that was the setup. That was the build-up for the big moment. Finally, the music builds, and there's a countdown, and the doors to the garage open up, and up the wire comes Santa on his sleigh. Now, they had an actual sleigh, little sleigh, and there was a live actor sitting in there dressed as Santa Claus. He had a whip in his hand, and the front of the sleigh was sporting two plastic lawn reindeer. The kind that you see on your neighbor's lawn that have an electric light inside them. So that you can see them.
It's no expense spared then.
No expense spared.
Wow.
And there's this now. The cable is pulling this up very, very slowly up across the lagoon, and the guy in this thing is cracking the whip to the best he can and waving to everybody, and the music's building and building, and this thing's just creeping up across the lagoon.
Santa's not in a hurry this evening.
It's higher and higher, and it gets a little bit scary because this is a live guy up there sitting, with his back to the ground, and he's going up, and he finally reaches the top of Back to the Future, and the follow spot on him goes out, and the pre-recorded voice thanks everyone for coming to Christmas at Universal, and enjoy the rest of your evening at Universal Studios. And that's the end of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's this guy sitting in this sleigh up at the top of Back to the Future. And the audience is just staring at him. Because there's nowhere for him to go. And he's just sitting up there. And so finally the crowd disperses. This is about 9:30. Park closes at midnight. And for the rest of the evening, every so often you would be walking along and you'd see somebody would just stop and turn around and look, and he's still up there. And they couldn't apparently bring him down till after the park closed.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh.
and this is when I put another sign up on my door at my office that said, "We've got to learn to punt." If you've got an idea that you can't quite pull off, then change the idea. Maybe that's not the idea to do it. I think that possibly we should have found something else to do with Santa when we realized that there was no place for him to go. We were stuck with this bad thing just hanging there in midair, it was a frightening sight. He was very high up, and just stuck up there on a very cold evening, I might add.
Yeah. Gotta hope they'd remember to go to the bathroom beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of another story. This is another Universal story we'll get a kick out of, actually. We did a thing, one of the projects I worked on was there was a fundraising dinner for the March of Dimes called the Gourmet Gala. And all of the major attractions in town do a 10-minute entertainment segment in this Gourmet Gala. This is a $500 a plate dinner. They have one of the major convention halls, and SeaWorld was going to do a live hookup with Shamu, and Disney was going to come in and do 10 minutes of their Mardi Gras parade. And we, at the very last minute, we were directed by management, if Disney's going to do 10 minutes, you better do 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And so we threw this thing together with a massive cast of Universal characters, and we really had a wonderful show. We really showed it to Disney. We made them look very silly because we had these wonderful characters. We had the Munsters and the Blues Brothers, and we had the debut of Rocky and Bullwinkle in the park was all part of it. And I wrote this whole wonderful show together with special performances by the Blues Brothers, the Marx Brothers, and an enormous football game breaks out in the middle of it, and one goalpost is Frankenstein, the other one was Herman Munster. It was very wild and very funny. But one of the gags I had was this sheriff comes riding into the ballroom on a real horse and fires a gun into the air, and a Hollywood stuntman, a live man, fell 40 feet from out of the ceiling of the ballroom and landed in a wagon full of feathers and sprayed feathers out over the audience. And we had to plant that cowboy up above this acoustic tile of 40. So he was 40 or 50 feet up there, sitting on a girder throughout the entire dinner. We had to put him up there like 30 minutes before they opened the house. And he sat up there on this girder, and he had a bottle in case he needed to go to the bathroom. He had a radio, and he had a phone, and he just sat there on about 10 feet above this open space that he was going to fall through. And he was stuck there 40 feet above this hardwood dance floor until we could roll the wagon in position just before the bit. But you see, we had thought it through.
Yeah.
The audience didn't know he was up there, so it wasn't a concern. But yeah, that was a triumph. It was a wonderful thing that's the wonderful thing about Universal back then, and sometimes now, that we're not Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we can try things. We can push the envelope a little bit. And when we think things through, they sometimes work very well.
I know. I'm just going back through your blog as well, Ron. That you actually created a little Christmas show for the Blues Brothers as well.
Yeah, I did all the Blues Brothers shows at the time. The regular show has since been improved to death. They've taken out all the stuff that made it uniquely Blues Brothers, but it still works. The setting is so nice and like that. But the Christmas show, that's something I'm terribly proud of. They have not found a way to improve that. I'm pleased to say. If you go see the show today, I'm still the voice of Santa Claus at the top of the show. And rewrote the lyrics with the boys, and I was very proud of the whole thing, the phony Christmas tree with the cigarettes and the beer can and the toilet paper, and then the two of them very emotionally exchanging gifts and giving each other new two pairs of sunglasses. I was very proud of that.
Cool,
nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You see, we're going to have to go now. Don't go. I mean, go for Christmas. Sorry, sorry.
Virtually the only thing that I go back to Universal for these days is to see that Christmas show. As I love seeing that.
It sounds
show.
like a must see.
But yeah, we've got the song's really funny as well. That you did it to the riding through a winter wonderland.
Driving through a winter wonderland. Yeah,
it's really funny. I'll have to. I'll post that up on our Facebook page when the show goes up. It's really good.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ron. As always, that was great.
It's my pleasure, guys. My pleasure. I love what you guys do, and have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes. You too, Ron.
Thanks, you too.
Yes.
My pleasure.
Now, like we said last time, if you'd like to find out more of Ron's history, you can check out his blog at dreamfinder.wordpress.com. Now, Dreamfinder is spelled DREEMFINDER. So that's Dreamfinder. Dreamfinder.wordpress.com.
And have you updated it from the last time we spoke, Ron? Because I know you were.
What I've been doing is I've been starting work transitioning into writing the book. So I've been rewriting some of the old posts. I've been pulling out the original versions as I'm doing the rewrites. I'm keeping those to myself, but I've started posting the textbook portions. I'm going to be interpolating the memoir with lessons I've learned about themed entertainment and how the shows are written, how they should be written, how they should be performed, the principles I've learned over 40 years. And I've been posting some of that online. And I'm very interested in getting feedback, especially from anybody in the industry, on these new posts. So please come check them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Right, well, thanks again for joining us, Ron.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
So that'll bring us to the end of our Christmas show.
And pretty much the end of the first year of the podcast.
It is. I can't believe it, actually. We'd like to thank everyone who's been a part of the show and everyone who's listened and continue to listen.
Yes, we would. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all our listeners.
So, that's it.
Yep. Our next show will be out on the 6th of January, and it'll be our Jaws tribute show, and it's looking like being an extravaganza. So, I'll see you then.
Yeah, good night, Internet.
Yep, and see you later from me.
And remember, live the adventure.
Cut. Print. That's a wrap for another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review while you're there. Not an Apple user? You can listen on Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or your podcatcher of choice. Email us any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. Keep up with the latest news, rumors, and updates on our blog at uuopodcast.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.